we're having a little technical difficulties.
Oh, there we go. I think we're set now. We good?
We good.
We good. All right, good. All right. So everybody, welcome into Unaltered Podcast, where everything kind of collides. We do sports, politics, cannabis, and everyday news. We break it all down. This is our first episode um, of Unaltered, and so we welcome y'all. Like, follow, subscribe, check us out. We're gonna have a lot of good topics, ranging from, like I said, basketball all the way down to politics to crypto, you name it. We'll be touching on it eventually. So that's kind of where we're at today. We're here to talk NBA summer review, go over kind of what's gone down this summer, how these teams have made their moves. Are they ready for 2024? What's changed? What hasn't changed? Dame Lillard, what's going on with Dame? Some other good news to jump into and kind of see where these teams have gone. So, Zach, why don't you just go ahead and say what's up and let everybody know who you are? Zach's our co-host. We're going to be doing this together, getting it in.
Exciting times, everybody. Exciting times. Getting ready for the NBA season. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Excited to see where everybody's going to go, what decisions are made, and how it's going to affect everything.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, man. I think that there's been a lot that's gone down this summer in the NBA. Obviously from Dame to, the new news right now with Harden and the Sixers. And, it seems like Embiid's jumping in on the mix as well. Philly looks like they're in a world of hurt right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, something's not good there. It's falling apart quick, and I don't know what they're going to do to be able to fix this one. And it looks like this season's going to be it's not going to be a good one.
You can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again.
It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to build from scratch. So, I mean, we can go ahead and jump into that first topic. Our first topic is going to be Dame Lillard to Miami. Is that going to happen? I mean, we've been talking about it, I feel like, since before the season even ended.
Well, I think that first it was just first talked about, to maybe put pressure on Portland's front office to maybe get something or get a supporting cast, but they got some young boys. But Damon ready to win now. He's been in the league a long time, 3-4 years to develop those young guys. I don't think he got that kind of time.
Do you think that Dame, say in Miami's the only spot he wants to go? Is that hurting him? I mean, is that going to put him in a bad situation? Or, I mean, we all know that Dame he could pretty much go wherever the hell he wants in theory. There's a lot of teams
that are
capable.
What does the team have to give up to get him?
That's why I'm wondering if Miami makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Miami, I mean, we watched them get obliterated by the Nuggets. I don't see how they can compete without adding more than just Dame, especially with the amount that they're going to lose. I mean, they're going to lose a lot of defenders, and that's what Miami was really built on. High energy, guys that defend, guys that show up and give you 100% effort every day. If you lose 2 or 3 of them rotation guys to bring in Dame, does that put Dame right back in the same situation as Dame? I mean, can him and Butler themselves carry a team? Because we've seen that Dame couldn't do it with McCollum. I mean, I guess he could have. He had some pieces, but he had injuries.
Yeah, you got out of bio. I just don't know.
I always forget about Bam. I just feel like Bam
was just talking
a good
about
defender
that too, putting some respect on his name. He's been to the finals a couple of years. I mean, he can ball. No doubt.
He's a great center. He's a great roaming center.
Yeah, I just don't know if Dame is that one thing that could have got him over the hump. I mean, even with Dame, I think Denver would have still beat him. Maybe they might have won one more game. Yeah, but it never still wins that. So I don't know if that's gonna be the thing that gets him over the hump. But he's dead set on going there. So I mean, hey, he must know something we don't. We're just people who speculate.
Spoelstra knows his shit. So, I mean, he's definitely, I consider him one of the top head coaches in the league, top 2, top 3 for sure.
Yeah, Spoelstra knows what he's doing.
He's a great coach. And so I think Miami, I'm just worried about what Miami's going to have to give up for him, and I'm wondering why it's taking so long. I mean, like I said, this talk was happening before the finals even started. You know, we're still talking that Dame's going here. We haven't been able to work up a package. I've heard there's some other options out there.
Yeah, I think it's reality for Portland now. Like I said before, I think it was just scare tactics or, you know, the media saying what if. But and then Portland didn't make a good enough move. You know,
hell, they might have to let him go for nothing, man.
Oh no,
not for nothing. But I mean,
hell no.
At some point, Dame's not going to play.
Charles Barkley said it best. They'd have to be fools. They'd be crazy to let him go for nothing. Hey, I tell you another thing.
I mean, what are they going to do if he doesn't want to play?
Yeah.
You know, if he decides to start pulling, you know, Harden shit. What if he's like, I'm not even going to show up now? I mean, that's how bad it seems like he wants out. And I mean, he's done Portland good. I mean, I ain't an NBA player out there that's done a team that good.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll see. I mean, another thing. I mean, little thing that probably is affecting that, and nobody's talking about, is Mitchell. Hey, that's coming up. That's going to be a decision that's going to have to be made this year too. And I don't think that. I think it's a lot of nice young players that's coming into the league. They don't know how they're going to fit, and I think some of the teams probably want to wait and see. They want to stick this out. Harden is the only one that's really putting pressure. Well, they're going to have to do something. I mean, they could maybe. I don't think they're going to save Dame Lillard. I don't see how they're going to do that. But other teams are. I mean, I don't think as many teams are in the fray because they're waiting to see other long-term plays that they can make.
Yeah, you know, even if this trade goes down, I mean, or when it goes down, it's most likely going to be a 2 or 3 team trade, I would think. I don't see how just Miami alone gets it done. I don't know if they've got enough, especially if, like you say, if Portland's not just going to give them away. I mean, they're probably asking for at least 3-4 first rounds for him. You're not just going to get him.
Oh, yeah. No. He's too valuable.
Way too valuable. You can't find another point guard like him right now.
No.
So, you know, there's options out there for him, and I think that if he opens up, I mean, there's probably places where he can get to who has the capital. You know, you look at like a Lakers team. The Lakers team could make a move for him, and they've talked about it. Will they do it? You know, it's hard to tell. But Dame in a Lakers uniform makes the Lakers dangerous, bro.
Really?
You know, if you can get fucking LeBron off ball. You know what I mean? And let Dame run the offense, that team be dangerous.
Yeah, take a little pressure off of him and Anthony Davis. He can't work them too hard. Well, LeBron is age, but Mr. Glass, you know.
Well, they're all soft. I mean, at this point in their career, I mean, they're just getting old. I mean, LeBron's not 25 anymore where he's going to put in 70 games every year, you know, 82 games and go give you, 20 games in the playoffs. He ain't got it no more, man. He ain't got that energy no more. He's just getting old.
Man, I wouldn't count that one out.
No, I'm not saying that he can't, get it done. LeBron can still get it done. I'm just saying at the end of the day, he's getting old, and you can even see it in that Nuggets series.
Yeah, well,
you got to game 4, he was dead, but he had to do everything too. So he tried to do everything anyway.
Yeah, Father Time is undefeated.
It is. And then you can't really rely on AD. That's he had a good run this year. He got torched by Jokic, but other than that, he did some torching of his own on the offensive side of the ball.
Kevin Garnett say that he expects AD to win the MVP within the next couple of years. He can do anything Jokic can do. He can do anything Embiid can do. This is what KD said. Now,
KD, I need some of what KD's smoking, dog. I need or KG.
When Anthony Davis is at his best, I probably got to agree with him. It's just the consistency.
He's a beast.
I think it's consistency is what we're not seeing. So we're not comparing him to those two.
Well, they got that new rule too. What's that new rule? You got to play 70 games to even be considered. So if that's the new rule, then AD in trouble, man. Like he might not ever make the cut.
Right, yeah. Yeah,
that's what hurts him because he's just injured all the time.
Anthony Davis is a beast. I don't want to take nothing from him, And I'm pretty sure he would. He's not trying to get hurt. So
no, I don't think he's trying to get hurt. He's just a big body. I mean, it's just like Embiid. Embiid, the style of play that he plays with. You throw around, 285 pounds, 7-footer. You just throw yourself around like a point guard. You bound to get injured, man. You bound to be hurt more than you play. And it is what it is.
He playing football, man. He on the ground every play.
Every play, he throws his body around like he a fucking ragdoll, man. It's like, dude, you got to stop. You never get
5 years old no more. Boy.
What's the best ability? Availability. You know what I'm saying? And
those some big bodies in there, man. It's easy for us to say we're not getting slung around either,
Oh no, for sure. It's 7-footers thrown, and that's the point, though, right? A 7-footer thrown into a 7-footer. The fall to the ground's a little harder than you run to a 6-footer and running right over, know. But anyway, so let's get back on topic here. Dame Lillard to Miami. So, like I said, I think that Miami's I think it's going to be a good spot for Dame if he can get there because it's what he wants. At the end of the day, he's not worried about a championship. He doesn't care. I mean, obviously, Miami's always in the playoffs. That they're just well coached. They took a team that shouldn't have been in the finals this year to the finals, and so he gets every drop of energy out of his team. So I'll give him that.
Yeah, and I was hoping in the last few years that they was going to give Dame something to work with, man. I like Portland. I like the Blazers. Have since I was a little kid, man. One of my favorite.
Down the street from you too.
Yeah, right down the street. So I was hoping that they were going to get a deal done. I think they just ran out of time to be, literal. I don't know if it's. That's his preferred destination, but at this point, I think he just won out to a contender. To a contender.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, there's some contenders out there that can give up some pieces for a Dame. Like, go get a championship. Yeah, you might hurt your future for a few years. As long as you draft well, it's not a big deal. Yeah. And that's the way I look at, just like with the Nuggets right now, it's like, well, they lost Bruce Brown. It's like, but they got the same starting 5 coming back. You can replace 13 points off the bench.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They that's replaceable all the time. So, I think that there's a lot of teams out there that have those pieces that can make a few changes if they really wanted to. I mean, even Denver, if they really wanted to, they could put a package together and get Dame all day. But, then you're also looking at going older over younger, you know what I mean? And things like that. So it just messes up your whole process. But my point is there is teams that could say, hey, let's go get a championship. Let's say the Nuggets lost last year in the finals, right? Let's say somehow they lose in the finals last year. Do they stay stagnant this year? I mean, they had a gap, so that's why they, it wasn't as big. They weren't too worried about bringing anybody in. Plus, they have, they're already in the luxury. But, do they continue to do that, or does, do they go out and say, hey, let's put a package of MPJ together and a few bench guys and a couple picks and go get Dame Lillard and throw him in the backcourt with Jamal Murray? Do you think that move would be something that they would have thought about doing if they lost in the finals this year, or say they lost in the Western Conference Finals? With Dame wanting out, is that a package that you'd be willing to do? Because if I'm looking at the Nuggets and say, okay, we lost and it didn't work out, then I wouldn't mind getting rid of it. MPJ is a 3-point shooter. I'll take fucking Dame as a 3-point shooter all day. And Duke can shoot.
Yeah. I mean, listen, bro. Listen, that's a hypothetical you ask any team right now.
No, for sure.
And hey, man, there's a lot of people in trouble. There's a lot of people in danger getting traded if it's for Dame Lillard, and they would have to understand. So I mean, he's a good guy too. No off the court troubles. No, and somebody wanted to go get a championship right now. He is probably the prime suspect. So he's in a good position. If it just we'll wait and see. This is. I feel like
that's been the motto all year long is we'll wait and see what Dame decides to do.
Yeah, Dame has a different approach than a lot of other people taking it. He's not doing anything or saying anything publicly, so it's kind of you don't know.
Right.
You don't know.
All right, man. Well, what I want to do next is I want to jump in. I actually want to pause really quickly and just give out a shout out to our sponsors, or one of our sponsors. We'll shout out the other one here in a little bit, but we're gonna give a shout out to one of our sponsors, Primo Gardens Inc. CBD company, great brand. If you're looking for a CBD or a trusted CBD company, look no further. Primo Gardens specializes in personalized CBD customized blends, basically a build your own blend process. If you check out their website online, it's on the bottom of the screen here, so check it out. Go ahead and go check them out. You can go ahead and schedule a BYOB consultation where they'll sit down with you, spend 30 minutes getting to know your situation, what it's looking like, and we'll build a specific brand for you or specific blend for you. And then you can go ahead and adjust, work with it. It's really a great one-on-one process. So if you get a chance, check them out. They're all about helping you find what's the best wellness for you, the wellness that works for you. So I would definitely highly recommend you give them a check out. I use them all the time. I got a build your own blend 3,000 milligram tincture here. I know the camera doesn't like to work with it with the green screen, but that's that. It's a really good product. I use mine for sleep, knocks me out. So give them a check out. I think you guys will love them. And let them know we sent you. So we're going to go ahead and move on and jump on over here to our next topic, which is going to be top 5 teams in the West. 24. The West is stacked.
Based on that hat you got on, I could just tell where you're going with this.
Well, you know where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
And I don't think I have to. I don't really have to make an argument for it like I've had to in previous years when I felt like we've had a good team. We should have been, competing, and we were competing. Just wasn't the right time, right?
Yeah. Well, I think he put the right pieces in place. Denver stayed healthy. Jamal Murray, he was a catalyst to that for y'all. He was he came back at the right time based on the season timing to the playoffs, his progression and getting better, because he got better. And if he'd have had 20 more games, you would have saw him get better and better and better in those 20 more games.
For sure.
It was just the right timing for him. That was really, Jokic is Jokic and he's going to play, but you saw he can't do it by himself. Nobody can.
No.
But man, Jamal Murray. We learned
that the last 2 years.
Yeah, Jamal Murray came back at the right time for y'all. Everybody played good, though. That was a complete domination. It was their time. Everybody peaked. Yeah. Was peaking at
it was great to watch.
Yeah.
As a Denver fan my whole life, man, I was ready to I was so excited to have that breakthrough for us and just for the city, man. We've got a couple Super Bowls, multiple Stanley Cups. The Rockies are trash and most likely always will be. But the Nuggets, man, they've had a lot of opportunities. I remember back in 2009, I was sitting courtside multiple games in a row for the finals or Western Conference Finals against the Lakers. We had Melo, Iverson, Camby, and I just remember, man, we had a chance. We were close then.
They had some good squads, but they wasn't complete squads. They got close, but they wasn't like this Denver team last year. They even though they had those. We've seen plenty of teams with big stacked names and still can't win. There's a lot of stuff to go into it.
It all works.
It's the culture too. Mike Malone.
He set a really good culture.
Yeah, he did. He established in the last few years a culture that everybody bought into, and you could tell.
In the last few years they've been dangerous, even without Murray. In the regular season, obviously in the playoffs, we got crushed both years without Murray. But just like you said, Jamal Murray coming back this year. I'm glad he waited. Honestly, rushing him back last year for the playoff run. They said he was healthy. He could have came back. That probably wouldn't have been good for him. I'm glad that he waited, sat out the rest of the year. And then, man, he came back early in the year. He struggled. But I'm going to say about game 50. Game 50, game 55, Jamal Murray started turning back into the Jamal Murray we've seen before he got injured, where we were like, okay, they just picked up Aaron Gordon. This team is going to win the finals this year. I mean, they were that good then.
I still wasn't convinced until they were playing who they were playing, and I just knew that there wasn't enough firepower. But I knew once they, when they had to play the Lakers, I knew that was a wrap on that. Lakers, none of the teams were deep enough. Golden State had maybe, it had a chance, but LA done away with them. They just got on top of them real quick. But
I think that the Lakers, I think if we play Golden State, it goes 6, right? It turns into a 6-game series instead of sweeping the Lakers. And honestly, man, I think that the Lakers series, in my opinion, was the best series of the entire playoffs. And it's funny to say that when they got swept, but if you watch them games, man, it didn't feel like a sweep. The Lakers was in every single one of them games. And it wasn't like
they couldn't finish.
They couldn't finish.
AD wasn't the same defensive player against the Nuggets that he was against the Warriors and the Grizzlies. So,
he also had expectations to play against the 2020 Jokic, which is a completely different Jokic. Jokic in 2020, when he literally shut down Jokic, basically took him out of the playoff run. We ended up getting beat 4-1 in that series, right? This year, Jokic is just a different animal. You know what I mean? The dude's different. He plays the game a little bit different. He's more aggressive. But he's also, I think that switch turned in 2020. He was coming up. Like, he was starting to make everybody realize, like, holy shit, like, this guy can ball. Won his first MVP. And then this year, it was just like, this dude just dominated every single category you can think of in the NBA this year. It was just outrageous. And you're like, when he brought in Jamal Murray and people, and this is what everybody needs to realize too, right? Everybody always makes the argument, the Nuggets didn't have no all-stars. Well, they do now. They got more than just one all-star. Jamal Murray's a bona fide all-star, and he proved that this year. He proved it in the playoffs this year, and I think that next year we'll actually see an all-star campaign out of Jamal Murray where he actually gets to, rep that all-star jersey. But he finally took that step. And like you said, 2 years on the bench, bro, watching Jokic demolish the league, win 2 MVPs in a row, watch your team play. He learned a lot about that game because when Jamal Murray came back, this dude averaged fucking in the playoffs alone 25, 6, and 5. I mean, the guy.
Yeah, he was tearing it up.
He was tearing it up. And not only was he killing it on the points, but he's bringing assists, boards. I mean, there was one game against was it the Lakers or Phoenix? I can't remember which one it was, where they both had a triple-double. First time ever in NBA history.
Yeah, him and Jokic. Yep.
And so Jamal Murray's game has changed, and that's what's making him such an all-star now. He's not just the scoring point guard anymore that shoots the three. He can facilitate. He's starting to learn to run an offense like a true point guard, but he also has the ability to just pull up and shoot whenever he wants. And he's got mad handles. I mean, that duo is going to be dangerous, bro, for the next 4 or 5 years. Them two dudes is going to be hard to stop.
It is. It's going to be interesting to see how Golden State. And I'm not convinced that they're completely done.
But I'm not convinced they're done yet either.
I don't. It's hard to count.
I still got the Lakers at 2 now. I'm still putting the Lakers at 2.
Yeah,
I think the Lakers have the best chance.
Yeah, for real. I think the Lakers this new year, AD stays healthy. I think maybe
make good moves too.
Maybe
they kept everybody.
Yeah, maybe one more piece. What would have been dangerous? I mean. If Kyrie would have went to the Lakers, that would have been dangerous.
And that might happen still mid-season. Yeah, that could happen mid-season.
I just don't. Mark Cuban's smart, man. I don't see him letting him go.
Well, he's the kind of guy to throw the checkbook at him too and be like, "Here you go, man. Let's just stay here in Dallas."
Yeah,
they got to figure it out because it didn't work.
Yeah, it didn't work though. But I'm not sure. Luka demand the ball too much. Kyrie you're talking about a point guard that is a true point guard. Kyrie need that ball, and Kyrie can do it on his own. I just don't know if Luka got it in him. He's never been on a team where he had to sit back and let people go to work.
You know what he reminds me of, bro? Luka reminds me a lot of Russell Westbrook back in the day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like where Russell was triple-double fucking machine, but he couldn't win anything. And it's like, I feel like Luka's in the same conversation. I think Luka's more talented. You know, he's a more talented offensive player.
But I don't see him winning anything.
But I just don't see how it's going to get done unless...
I don't even have Dallas in my top 10.
No, Dallas to me fell out of that. They're not in the conversation right now. It's just like Memphis, just like I talked about Memphis. I like we talked about earlier. I can't put Memphis.
Memphis has a better chance. Memphis has a better chance of making the playoffs than Dallas.
Oh yeah, 100%. I just can't. We're looking at it from a top 5 perspective. Dallas nowhere near it, and Memphis. I mean, I want them at 5, but you know, we don't know if we're gonna have. We don't know if basically we already know. No Ja Morant for half the season.
Yeah, I don't have them in my top 5. I mean, I'm more consistently. I'm more thinking about Sacramento. I was, we was talking about that. I'm more in it because we know Sacramento. They're gonna be there. The players are gonna be there. We don't know what's gonna happen with Ja Morant. He might, they might catch him in the bathroom putting a gun in the safe. I mean, I just don't know, how. We'll see.
You are so true.
Yeah, like, hey, you following them around. You're trying to look at anything now. So they disrupt a lot of off-court things. It gets disrupted too. So we got to see how all of that's going to play out in regards to Memphis. Marcus Smart going there, though, can make a difference. Hey, Ja could be out. Marcus Smart on that squad. Desmond Bain. Jared Jackson Jr. Hey, they could still make some noise without Ja.
Well, they played well without Joel last year. Mm-hmm. But they also, they lost a few players. But, I mean, most of the players they lost got cooked in the playoffs anyway.
Yeah. I mean, you just never know, man. Hey, I've seen a lot of regular season heroes. So,
what do you think about the Suns, man? That's the.
Oh, listen, yes, I gotta put them in 4 because Booker and Durant. I mean, hey, they probably get better. I don't know. He might have should have stopped doing the State Farm commercials because, man, boy. He just had those horrible look. It's 3 players that always stick out of my mind that I really, really like in the NBA. And I in a pickup game I'll put them on my squad, but I'd never have them on my squad if I was a GM. James Harden, Paul George.
Right. Well, what do you think about Bradley Beal? Bradley Beal going to the Suns. I mean, I feel like they're an offensive superpower.
Yeah, beautiful.
You know what I mean? I mean, and the Nuggets even learned that too. In the semis. I mean, the 2 games that the Suns won is because Booker and Durant went, together went off for 80. 90.
Okay, this is tough. Listen, this is
no defense, bro. No defense. Even with the roster as of now, no defense, and still really no depth.
No. But I think, listen, the Suns, because of that, they're going to be a good regular season game. They're going to get it going. They're going to go, and they might get in the first round of playoffs, but you're right. They just have no depth.
They're going to score a lot of teams out of the building.
Yeah, with Booker and KD and Beasley, I just couldn't count them out of the playoffs. But I'm going to tell you something that's crazy. We didn't touch on it too much. We say we want to see it, but I want to see the effect of Chris Paul on the Warriors.
Me too. And I'm
curious
over the Warriors at 3. I think the Warriors deserve to be at 3 because if it wasn't the Lakers, it was the Warriors against the Nuggets, period.
The only reason why I agree is because Chris Paul is a great. He's a great.
Is that why you think that the Warriors still have a chance? Are the Warriors Warriors dynasty over, or is the Warriors dynasty?
Hey, listen, hey, homie, not because of Chris Paul. Warriors has never been my favorite team. I even when they had their run, I wasn't on that Dub City stuff. But I
2016
like
is one of the best teams I've ever watched.
Yeah, nah.
They're one of the best.
But I wasn't sold on them ever. But as the years have went on, as having to respect a player, man, Steph and Clay be eating people up so bad, man. It's Steph be hitting people so bad. His highlight reel, man. So I'll never count him out, man. I mean, anybody can shoot it from the locker room, bro. You can't count out.
Right. Okay.
You know, I mean, I don't know who else in the NBA walking up to the second level and shooting threes and making them.
Not many people, man. I think Dave.
I can't count
did
that
a
cat
warm-up shot like that, he could probably be on that list. Dave's a sharp shooter from deep, so I think he could.
Oh yeah, Dame is a killer too, though. Yeah, Dame is a straight killer.
Trey Young's a killer too.
Trey Young is a straight killer. Who was that? Somebody just said that. I was reading something. And they said that they was comparing Trey Young to Steph Curry. And I was like, hold on, slow your roll. Not yet, big fella. Not yet. Slow your roll. Steph Curry's sick, man.
Steph Curry made himself Steph Curry that game, that preseason game against the Lakers. And Kobe decided to guard the fuck out of him. I mean, he rode him off.
Boy, him and he just turned around and shot it in his face.
Yeah, pulled up and drilled it on him, and it was just like
he was like, oh yeah,
changed the game, man. Everybody realized at that moment that dude's a beast.
Hey, when I seen the highlight film of it, and go check it out, people. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Go check out this. Type it up on YouTube, wherever you gotta go. Steph Curry shooting the ball, turning his back before it goes in. Oh man, it's sick.
Oh yeah, that's the one that he.
I'd fight him.
A few times now.
I'd push him down, man.
Yeah, he's done it a few times now.
I know. I just shoot it and just turn around and walk away before it even goes in. Bruh. Hey, if that ain't demoralizing, I don't know what is, man.
I'm telling you, bro.
It's horrible.
It's almost like if you could take AD's facial expression from when Jokic hit that shot on him in Game 4, where he jumps back behind the three-pointer and just fucking floats it. If you could take that picture of his face and use it as a gift for every time Steph did that shit, that's literally the reaction that I get. I'm just like, this motherfucker again.
Yeah, man. It just turns around and just shoot it. So then you can't count them out. But I go Phoenix, like the team too. I don't know. Are they gonna have a team full of people just doing whatever they want to do? I mean, losing Chris Paul, even though they gave Beasley, I'm telling you,
What about
you know what I mean?
Is Ayton gonna be gone?
No,
by the deadline.
They're gonna keep Ayton.
Or is the new coach? What's his name? Luke. Is Luke Walt? Luke's the coach there. Who's the new head coach over there? I can't even freaking remember who the head coach is there.
Hey, listen though, I don't know. I mean, they better keep Ayton though, because they don't want to go.
Frank Vogel.
Frank Vogel, yeah. Hey, listen.
I think he can get more out of Ayton.
Huh?
I think he can get more out of Ayton.
Yeah.
Because I feel like Ayton went from a
little bit, man. They threw him off his game, man. Just leave him alone and let him go do his thing. He's consistent and he can guard the rim. You go small, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Adebayo is big. Miami needed another big. They need another big man. Even if Dame go there, they need another big man that can take them hard.
Well, I think big men are becoming a
5 foul, 6 hard foul. You know, they need that, man.
Big men are the new golden ticket in the NBA right now.
Yeah, they'll leave Ayton where it is.
And big men are starting to score too. Big men are different now. I mean, Jokic and Embiid are the poster childs for big men in the NBA right now. You got to find somebody that's big, can play defense, and has IQ. If you can get those three tangibles in the center, you need them. And not only that, but you just need them for defense now. Because you just watched what the Nuggets did. If you don't got two bigs, you in trouble. You're in trouble. Guaranteed.
Hey, you know another team, Mike. This is another team that is not on my list of favorite teams. Utah Jazz. Don't they? You know what? They can be an upsetter team.
the Jazz could come into it.
I think they're gonna.
Excited about the Jazz this year.
They could be that team. You know, you always got that one team that really wasn't. Ain't making the finals, but they come in and make some noise. Like Lakers last year. Lakers wasn't winning the finals, but they came in and made some noise.
Well, honestly, the deadline. When we got to the deadline,
yeah, Jazz is not.
I told everybody, I was like, the Lakers were. I believe the Lakers were the 13th seed. 13th or 14th seed.
13th.
I was like,
I was like, they climbed all the way back.
I was like, at the deadline, they had the 13th seed, and after they made their moves, they went and got Roy Hachimura and whatever. I forget who else they went and got. And I was like, this team is gonna be something. They're gonna figure it out. And sure enough, they started running up the standings quick. Steph got hurt. The Warriors started falling, and I was like, Lakers is going to get in the play and watch, and they're going to win. And they ended up getting in, and then they went on a run, man. You put LeBron in the finals.
They talk so bad about the Lakers. They were horrible, but they talk so bad about the Lakers. Who would ever thought that the team that actually won the championship is the team that had to put them out? Huh. Go figure.
Right. And that's funny, too. And I'm glad you said that. Because it's one thing I've been trying to tell people for a long time. People forget that the last 4 years in a row, the NBA champions have had to come through Denver to get there. Every single one of them. So isn't that crazy to think about? That
we were so close every time. That
every year we're so close, and this was without the pieces. Without everybody being injured. I mean, just all the injuries. It's just like the Broncos this year. I've been saying this about the Broncos. I mean, the Broncos, when you look it up, I forget what it was, but they were the most injured team by it wasn't even close. Like, it was so big of a gap from them 1 to 2.
I know.
So just getting Sean Payton and being healthy is like a massive upgrade.
Bad news bears in here.
Hey, at least we ain't talking about the Cowboys, bro.
For real.
But
anyway, I got it. You know what? I have to agree. I go Denver 1, Lakers 2. I'm shifty on 3 and 4 between the Suns and the Warriors. And I think Sacramento, what they did last year, they was a good up and coming team. They stay consistent. I keep them at 5. And then but the West is pretty stagnant, pretty talented. We still got Memphis in there. We don't know what Dallas is gonna do. Minnesota, as terrible as they are,
they can probably get in again.
Hey, but I'm gonna tell you,
they got Tim Conley, bro, and I'm gonna what he did in Denver. A lot of people forget that Tim Conley built that championship team. Now, what's his name? I can't even think of his name now. Went in and he brought in KCP, and he brought in Bruce Brown. But the rest of that team is built by Tim Conley. And so Tim Conley going to Minnesota, it didn't really show up last year. I really expect.
Yeah, but they just missed the play in by 1 game. Minnesota was playing. Man, Anthony Edwards is good.
He played us in the first round, and they honestly. You could make the argument, if you look at the Nuggets run, that Minnesota gave us the hardest time, but that's because they had the 2 bigs in Karl Anthony Towns and Rudy Gobert. They had the right model. They just didn't have the extra scorers to make it happen, but they had the right model to make it difficult for Jokic. And it didn't work because obviously the surrounding cast was just that much better. But the 2 big game is what works. And that's why Tim Conley, I felt like they were going to give us the best chance just because Tim Conley knows this Nuggets team very well. And he's building now to beat us. I mean, we're the model at this point. Is you got to beat the Nuggets at their game, and their game is drafting well, developing well. Yeah. Just like the Warriors.
Listen, I tell you a team. This is funny because we're going to stay on the West. We need to have another show on just the East. But we'll stay on the West here. I tell you, coach, my favorite coach, for real of all time. You can't count him out. It's got to be something stirring with him, just knowing him. But Pop, Hey, they got that little young boy now. You know, I remember when when LeBron came in the league, man, I was just, even though I've been seeing him in high school, everything, I happen to think he's the best. I mean, I was in both eras. I think the argument between the best player ever between Jordan and LeBron, you know, that could be a whole show in itself. But my pick is LeBron. I saw both eras.
Oh, we coming back to that.
Okay,
we're gonna do a show on that one.
Yeah, we can
doing a show on that one.
But I saw both eras, and I saw the impact. One, I think the off-court impact of one has people blindsided by actual just on the court stuff. Okay, and I do mean the shoes, the clothing, the branding, and all of that. It's just everybody, because people that don't even know basketball will tell you Jordan is the best because their favorite brand is Jordan. Everything, you know what I mean?
And that's everybody tells you Jordan's the best.
But like I said, let's don't do that. Let's stay off of that one. But Pop, I think Pop got something planned. He can get the best out of an international player. You saw that in Ginobili and Parker, and Duncan, for that matter, the most underrated Tim Duncan. And he got
minds in the NBA.
He got this new kid. And I remember when LeBron came in, my thing was, I said, okay, he's doing this against high school kids. Let's see what he do in the NBA. It's the same thing I want to see out of Victor, Mr. Long Name.
Wembanyama?
Yeah. I'll get it right now. Say your name.
I don't even know if I got it right.
Victor. You know, I want to see him, you know, play with grown men, the best in the world, like this consistently.
For sure. I mean, he's played what? The last 2 seasons pro ball in Europe. Now, obviously, that ain't the NBA, but that's still not kids. It's grown men.
So did Dunkage. And Dunkage is eating up. You see what he did today? Dunkage is eating up everybody. But is that enough? No, right. It'll never be enough. You know, right. James Harden, you know, that isolated ball, Luka Doncic with that isolated ball, he's going to be very unhappy because you can't win like that. You can't win playing isolated ball. I mean, you know, it's just
Wemby's going to get a lot of shots, though. I mean, Wemby, I don't think Wemby's going to be a difference maker this year.
You don't think he'll be a difference maker in the record of San Antonio?
This year.
You don't think
no, this year
to the playoffs?
To me, it really depends on size, bro. If he doesn't get bigger, if he don't get bigger, if he don't get bigger, he's in trouble.
Yeah,
like if he goes up against Embiid with some shit like that, he's getting destroyed.
Yeah.
If he goes up like that shit against some AD, he's getting destroyed. Yeah, like he's just too small right now. So I mean, he just looked like a big twig out there. He gonna have to get bigger quick. I think he's gonna be big and he's strong and he's got finesse. I think he's gonna be able to take his jump shot. You know, he needs to play the game like KD. He needs to shoot the ball more. I think that he'll progress his game inside as he gets bigger. Because I think that he tries to pull some of them pretty dunks on fucking
the rim and stuff ain't gonna work in the NBA. They'll throw you in the second row. And that's different than the leagues. Yeah. I just want to see that. That's interesting. I'm gonna keep my eye on that one.
I'm excited about
that one. So yeah,
I'd put them at 6 right now, 6, 7. Like I think San Antonio,
New Orleans,
they're always gonna be there.
Hey, look, we're not talking about this, man.
So New Orleans. Okay, so New Orleans is gonna be tough when healthy, right? If you can get Zion to play the entire year and be healthy,
that is
he'll be all right.
That's funny.
But Charlotte, if you want to talk about the two weird teams nobody talk about.
Listen, he admitted he can't control his weight. Zion, wow. That's why he can't stay healthy. He's
such a great player, though. I mean, man, the talent that guy has is unfucking believable. If he could just get it on the court and keep it going.
Bully balls. What he don't have. I just personally, good. He's good, but the type of good. What I'm saying is he just played bully ball. I don't think he could be healthy. He's not going to be able to protect his body. And you can be big as strong as you want to in the NBA, but guess what? All those guys are so big that a human body can't take that punishment.
All right, so we're about to
We
jump
see it
over.
in football. We see it in every contact sport. When you have these guys this size moving at that rate of speed, he can't be unhealthy, bro. You got to take care of your body. So we'll see what goes on there. But I'm telling you, boy, Brandon Ingram be eating it up. But if Zion can stay healthy, they're still first rounders to me. No matter it with what they got right now, they still first rounders to me.
For sure. No, I think that they're all good. And so for top 5 in the West, I think we all agreed in. So Nuggets, Lakers, Warriors, Suns, Kings. Let's get 20 games in, and we will definitely be coming back to chop that.
We'll come back to this.
And we'll see where they're at then. Let's get 20 games in. We'll see where we're at. We'll jump over to the next one. We're going to do top 5 teams in the East. And so I didn't write down my top 5 in the East just because I think that the top 5 can be thrown around depending on a lot of things right now. There's so much up in the air in the East.
Hey, this is harder. The top 5 in the East is harder to put in order than the West.
I think you could still put Boston and Milwaukee at 1 and 2. I think that's a pretty solid 1 and 2.
That's interchangeable.
You don't know who it is.
We haven't seen Porzingis play. What effect with Boston? I gotta keep Milwaukee at number 1. But listen to this: even over the Celtics being number 2, I still got Miami at number 2 over them. And Milwaukee, I think that Miami don't get out of the East with a healthy Greek Freak. I just don't think that was him getting hurt. What was that thing that I was like, oh man, I was scared Denver was gonna win. I didn't even want to talk to you about it, about basketball. Like,
I was wondering why for about 3 weeks there I didn't
talk. Oh man, I didn't even want to talk, man. I didn't want Denver to win that. I was like, oh my God, he's right. But I will say this.
Well, I called the Lakers in 5. At least I didn't say they were going to get swept.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I remember this, you Denver fan, boy. I just as plain. All the year before that, no analyst, nobody said nothing. But you kept saying that the Warriors was going to win. I remember that. You kept saying Warriors going. I was like, man, you can't get out of here. You crazy. They're not going to win. They good, but they're not going to win. They end up winning. I was like, man, uh-oh. But I didn't want to talk to you, man. As soon as Greek Freak got hurt, I was like, man.
Yeah. I would have loved to see that series. Honestly, man, the series I really wanted to see just because of the MVP talk and all the bullshit that surrounded it. Like I wanted Nuggets Philly, bro. Like that would have been a hell of a series.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a good series.
Like the old days, battle of big men. We want to see in the battle of the guards and all these good. But that was something different. Would have been throwback.
And I think it would have been. I think it would have been the icing on the cake for both teams. Just No, you wanted that so you could say Jokic is better than Embiid. You just needed something. I didn't need that to say that. I think
you do, because you don't throw that around. You don't just throw. I know you believe that, but you don't just throw it around, and you don't throw it around because it's a slight doubt in your head. What happens if they go head to head and you ain't seen that yet? Like that.
Well, and it's funny because we've only seen it happen a few times. One time, Jokic cooked Embiid, and the second time, Embiid cooked Jokic, and so when you look at it from that point of view, but the Nuggets won. The Nuggets won one.
It haven't happened in a series where they had to figure each other out.
Yes, exactly.
And those adjustments, right? So that's gonna be funny. But listen, man, the East is. We talk about how stacked the West is, but you know what? In all actuality, I think the East got a lot of good talent too. Because you think about them, they're pretty even as well. Like I say, man, I got Milwaukee, Miami, Boston. But see, Boston, I don't know what they're gonna do with how the effects of Marcus Smart leaving and Porzingis coming in there. So I want to see that. And then, I mean, you got Atlanta. They still going to be floating around in there. That's going to be a good one. Philadelphia. What's going to happen with Philadelphia? Bro, they just took.
We get into that.
Listen, Philadelphia. I think they took themselves out of playoffs altogether.
Well, they may have. I mean, I'm gonna tell you my top 5, and then we can jump into that, because the East is, like I said, I mean, in theory, we can sit here and talk all day about the East just because of how many things are going on in the East right now. But I would easily say that, Milwaukee, for sure, put them at 1. Boston and Miami, you can play around with them 2 and 3. 4, I'm not going to sleep on New York. I think the Knicks are a piece away. I think they probably can get back in this year and make a run at it again. Just because I don't know what's going to happen with Philly. And then I'm going to put Philly at 5. I'm going to put Philly at 5 because I have no clue what's going to happen with Philly. And that's good. That's a good precursor to just go ahead and jump in and jump into the next topic here of good old James Harden. Does James Harden get traded before the season starts? And if so, where's he go?
Listen, if Philly is smart, they trade him. But Mike, what team is going to pay him? That's the question. What team is going to be dumb enough or is willing to take the chance on taking him? He's a cancer. If he comes in and he likes it, everything is great. But if he don't like it, you're going to be stuck. It's one thing if this was the first team he done this to and everything, but he did it at Houston. He wanted to get out of there. And it went to Brooklyn and did it there. Now he's here. But
after he lost Dan and Tony, he started crying and he wanted to get out of Houston.
Yeah.
Granted, I will say that he's got a valid argument, right? Like when he was playing with Dan and Tony was the best James Harden we'd ever seen.
They didn't do nothing but give him the ball. I mean, shoot, who
at
that level, if you got 100 shots, of course your numbers are gonna be up. Kevin McHale was talking about that. Anybody in NBA right now on the professional level, bro, you get that many shots. I mean, that's why Iverson and Kobe never, even though I hold them up as a great, how great they were. I'm not taking away from that, but I mean, damn, if you got that many shots, bro, I think that
their numbers, their efficiency numbers weren't always the greatest.
Horrible, bro. Horrible. Yeah. Okay, so go back to that. So the Harden is on that top 3 of my list. You cannot win with him. I don't care how good he is. I'm not. This is no knock against his talent.
Well, it's an ISO ball thing.
I don't know him personally, so it's no knock personally. But I'm just saying, if I had to put a team there, he is on that top 3. I'd never put on my team because you're not going to win with him. He's proven. Have he won anything?
So who's going to go get him then? I think that's the question, and I think that this is why you got the owner talking shit. You got everybody running their mouth now because I don't think he's worried about it. I think he knows that, one, he ain't going to get shit for him right now because nobody wants him.
Nobody wants him. Nobody wants him.
2,
even though, and this is what's crazy. Sorry.
He ain't going to play in Philly. So what do you do? Just pay him and cut him? I mean, what do you do?
Yeah.
At this point.
I personally think that nobody should take a chance on him because of what he's done. Although I'm questioning why he's doing that, knowing his position. I just did this. Hey, how bad it's gonna look on me. I think the guy. I think Daryl Moore promised him something.
I clearly promised him something.
Listen, hold, bro. Oh, hey, granted. I heard Mad Dog and what's your boy Stephen A. talking this morning, right? And I have to agree with Stephen A. on something. Mad Dog on that, he said, "Well, he's getting 35 million. Take it and shut up. Who gets 35 million a year? Take it, shut up." Yeah, but Stephen A. said something, but he promised him 200. Yeah. So somebody promised you 200 million. And then all of a sudden, the payday is 35 million. Bro, that's 165. Like, that's enough to make somebody go crazy.
No, make them go post online and talk all kinds of shit, throw you under a bus. You know what I'm saying? And then go post and say, I ain't done yet. I've been comfortable my whole life. Time to be uncomfortable. Like, this motherfucker's on a mission right now.
Man.
He's posted some shit, man, and he ain't happy. And I don't blame him. Like, I understand why he's pissed. And we don't know the whole facts.
Personally, I don't think he's worth $35 million a year. I wouldn't pay him.
Well, I mean, he ain't worth that. And I think that's what they learned, though. They learned this year that, you know, honestly, the way that they played the minutes this year was kind of jacked up.
That's a travel. That's my thing with it, man. You get an extra step, or I can take another step and get away from the defender to shoot the ball. Man, nah, that's a travel.
Yeah, he's I don't know, man. I feel bad for James Harden, but at the end of the day, he's doing it to himself.
Yeah, he is. He's doing some stuff. And he think his worth is more than what it is.
Exactly. And that's the one thing that sucks is like he can't realize that you're a better off-ball shooting guard than you are an on-ball point guard. And he doesn't understand that. And he doesn't want to play that game.
You can't take away from it, man. He got a lot of assists, brother. He led the league last year in assists, didn't he? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm not sure. I mean, he passes the ball. I mean, at the end of the day, James Harden became, honestly, when he was in Houston, when he went from being the third option in Oklahoma to being the first option in Houston, he changed his game.
Mm-hmm.
Then when he went to play with Embiid, he realized that he has one of the best centers in the game. And he actually played well with Embiid. I think that they have a good little thing going, and Harden can get him out of trouble. The problem was it was only them two.
Yeah, but don't forget, you skipped over Brooklyn where he went back to the third option.
Oh, yeah, he was in Brooklyn with Kyrie and KD.
He went back to the third option, and that's why he wanted out of OKC. That wasn't going to work. So he went back. So now he went to Philly, and what was the second option? So what do you think about that? I mean, do you think that helps his game or it hurts his game?
Well, if you look at the stats, I'd say it helps his game. I just don't think that, again, where's he going to go? If he wants out of Philly so bad, where are you going to go that gives you where are you going to go where you're going to be the second option? Or where are you going to go?
Clippers, you're still going to be the third option.
Exactly. That's my point. So if you don't like, and this has always been his issue, is he doesn't like being the third option. He likes being the first or second option.
Houston with Endo, he wanted to go down there where they got a young team.
Well, he was begging for Dan and Tony to come to Philly right now so that he can run the offense where he's the number one option, and then switch it to where Embiid would be the two option down low. Because that's what Dan and Tony would do. Dan and Tony has always played that way.
Because Dan Tony didn't have a half court offense.
Well, he's never had an Embiid either, though.
Even when he had Steve Nash, man, that was in Phoenix, man. And Dan Tony runs, homie. If you play with Dan Tony, your ass better be in shape.
And that might hurt Embiid.
Huh?
Because Embiid, how long? And that's the one thing I think that's why they didn't go get him, because they know that Embiid can't run the floor in Dan Tony's offense for 82 games. Ain't happening. Ain't happening.
No. Man, if you ain't in shape, buddy, your ass is gonna be on the bench in a Dan Tony offense, buddy.
Yep, he runs and runs.
Yeah, that's outrun everybody, outscore everybody. You know.
So now that the Harden issue is going on, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, man.
No, you're good.
So with the Harden issue going on, now there's all kinds of cryptic tweets and people talking about it left and right that Embiid is erasing his ties with Philly on his social media pages. What's going on there?
Maybe after the Ben Simmons thing, maybe this time he want to try to stay out of it because he's cool with Harden. So I think that he did that to kind of show Harden a little respect, so it ain't no animosity if Harden is going to have to play. I think Embiid still wants to win. He want to win a championship.
Of course he want to win.
But he is, but he also said that he wants to win, whether it's in Philly or somewhere else. Oh, out and open, just plain and simple. He said that. So he's not taking being traded to off the table. So that's kind of a mixed message. And I bet you Philly, that's not gonna be a story come out of Philly head office. They don't want that smoke too. They got enough smoke.
If Philly if Philly runs into an issue where they have Harden and Embiid both wanting out, Philly in trouble. And they in trouble for a long time because you ain't gonna get no superstars to come back. Nobody gonna want to play for you. Nobody gonna want to work under this GM or this owner. And it's setting a bad image. And then like I said, you've got Harden talking like he ain't done. He ain't done throwing them under the bus. He ain't done talking shit until he gets what he wants. If he continues to play that game, when does Embiid decide, hey, I got to cut ties with you too, or else it's going to start dragging
I just want out. All y'all. Hey, you know what might not be a crazy trade with Anthony Edwards, because he's seen Embiid seems to play with that fast, aggressive guard. Minnesota. Embiid going there with Anthony Edwards. Gobert. Back
no, fuck no, I don't want to be the fucking Minnesota. But I've got to play.
I don't either. I don't either. But you said you were talking about, hey, I think this breaks Philly.
Hey, maybe we'll actually get Embiid to suit up for a game in Denver. Like, that would be dope. He hasn't played in Denver in 4.5 years.
Yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening. But listen what I'm saying. Embiid might want to go. I know that's a long shot and a possibility. Philly, but they better hold tight. But
Embiid got an MVP trophy now, so he can pretty much do what he wants to do. And that's the thing, and that's what I'm saying is, like, it's so hard to find out what's going to happen with Philly. Philly was a top 4, top 5 team in the NBA last year. And with these two moves or these two issues going on at the same time, I don't see how they make it back, man. I don't see how they can, like you said, they might fall themselves all the way the fuck out of the playoffs and to the bottom of the barrel in the East.
Listen, man, this is going to tear that team up. What they going to do? You think James Harden is going to – listen, do you think, honestly, James Harden is going to play in Philly this year after he did that? Why would they let him play? And then, I mean, it is going to be
and who do you get to replace him?
It's about to be a one-up thing. So, you see, he came out and said something about Harden, and Harden came back, and it's just going to go back and forth, so nobody wants to lose.
But they firing real shots, man. I mean, it's not like they firing, love taps like, standard NBA. Oh, I understand his point of view. We're trying to work something out. No, it's like, no, this motherfucker doesn't. The owner said it himself. I can't remember exactly what he said. I just seen it earlier today, but he was just like, basically, like, Harden thinks, basically, literally, like we said, Harden thinks he's worth more than he is, and it doesn't really matter to him if he plays basketball in Philly this year. I mean, we're talking serious shots here. We're not just talking business shots. We're talking serious punch below the gut shots.
You know what? Listen, so in the scheme of things right now, it might shake up stuff, but hey, is it like one of those things? What happened in life, man? Lord forbid somebody dies. Life goes on, right? Harden retiring, get traded, quits, whatever. NBA is still going, and we got a lot of good teams. This shouldn't overshadow what's going on, because at the end of the day, it's somebody making a choice, and he got to live with them consequences. Harden got up there and said that he got to live with them consequences, and what it does shouldn't have a complete effect on the whole team. Get rid of it. Okay, cool. He wanted to go. Regardless if you get a bad piece, will that bad piece on the team do as much damage as keeping him there and trying to make sure you get something out of him or whatever? Get rid of him. He's going to be a cancer in the locker room. It's going to be a bad distraction for the team. Go get him somebody, even if you get somebody who's less of a player than he is, which he's a good player, so you're probably going to get less of a player, but be a better teammate until trade deadline so that they can work things out.
Well, I mean, the Nuggets did that shit last year. Bones Highland, a truly talented up-and-coming point guard, drafted him last year, brought him in with Christian Brown. I mean, great kid, outstanding player. You know, he grabbed Denver's hearts like that. But the second he ran his mouth to Jamal Murray in a year where the entire building's thinking championship, his ass was fucking gone. We traded him and ended up with Thomas fucking Bryant, who ain't even on our squad anymore. That's how fast the Nuggets got rid of him when the culture starts to become a problem and you start to mess up the juju in the locker room of a championship caliber team. This shouldn't even have gone public. The Sixers should have sent him packing in the quietness, silent, been done with it.
When he did,
I know, but then they went and fired shots back.
Though. They should have not said a word.
Shut your mouth.
And he would have been traded for Kyle Kuzma.
Yep. Just give him away. Take the L. Like it's one of them things where ownership made themselves look bad because now who's going to sign in Philly, man?
Star player, your centerpiece now is in question.
And now who's going to sign with you? Who wants to come and sign unless they're real good friends with Embiid and Embiid convinces them to come? Even if what Harden is saying is bullshit or it's skewed or it's 100% true. Now the whole goddamn planet knows that you're doing shady shit over there. Whether they believe it's shady or not, now you got to convince players that it ain't shitty. It isn't shady. When you never should have had to explain that it isn't shady in the first place.
Harden would have been in Washington or out of the Clippers or wherever he wanted to go. Disney.
Oh, he was just running his mouth. I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, for real. But I'm saying, for real. Like, and he'd have been over there traded and been like, you know.
And then you fire shots back and expect star players to come play for you.
I don't know what he's talking about, why he's mad, but he said that he wouldn't play. You know.
Right.
I didn't get that. Could you try again?
Oh, sounds like we got Siri
up here. Sorry.
No, you're good. But yeah, so I just think that it's I think that it's a real mess for Philly right now. I don't see how they're gonna get out of this one, brother. I just don't. I feel like Philly is going to be terrible next year, no matter how you look at it. Embiid will probably have a good year.
But then he's going to be.
But it'll be all solo ball. Trouble, man.
I think now the way Philly came back, right, wrong, or indifferent, I think the writing's on the wall for the next couple of years. Embiid going to be begging. He's going to be the next one asking for a trade. I think Harris is coming up on free agency. He's going to be out. He don't like how this is handled. Hey, man, but this looked really bad on the Philly organization. I mean, now it doesn't make Ben Simmons look so bad.
No, and then that's the funny thing. I was just gonna kind of link that up. I had a little note here. Now, does everybody think Ben Simmons is crazy? That was the question. Is Ben Simmons crazy, or did Ben Simmons have a fucking legitimate reason to get out of Philly?
You know, and he said, I mean, they played with him in his career about if you don't do what I say, you know, now his mental health is not there. Everybody ain't mentally as tough as they are physically tough. You know what I mean? And you say he should have been able to take it and grow up and be a man and whatever. But when somebody's playing with your life, who knows what is dependent on him being here in the NBA? You know what I'm saying? And you playing with somebody's life. Yeah, it probably does have some mental effects. And, you know, most us men taught to just suppress it and keep going. But but do we think he was wrong? Maybe not.
I don't know, man. It's going to be tough to find out. But at the end of the day, if Harden ends up gone and next year Embiid saying, you know what, I want out too, then you look back and say, man, maybe it was all these players, you know, everybody's giving them shit, but at the end of the day, maybe it really is just the organization that's the problem. And we can already tell as of right now that they're part of the problem. Them firing back, talking shit, the way that they're doing things is just showing exactly what he's talking about. I mean, at the end of the day, they're making his statements true, and that's why it's such a big story. You're talking shit back to him now. You guys are getting into a cat fight.
Yeah,
you're a multi-billion-dollar organization. It doesn't look good.
Yeah, for real. I kind of feel like he's probably Hard is probably right the way they came back so fast. They trying to discredit it fast, bro. Instead of just letting that go, like I don't know what he's talking about. They came back fast, man. I think they promised him money. I think
Two different tactics, man. Discredit and attack them quickly, or just shut the hell up and move on.
Yeah, they should have just shut up and move on because now, like I said, I mean, even who are we? We're
exactly. We're nobody yet, but we will be.
We will.
They don't know us yet. But they will.
No, but you know what I mean? Like that we came up with that really fast. A couple days after that, and just sitting here talking and thinking about it. I mean, you gotta wonder about that. You gotta wonder. And so, I mean, Ben Simmons, he seems to be doing fine now. I mean, he's got on back. He's playing. He wasn't Ben Simmons of the old days, but I mean, you know what you was getting. He never shot the ball a lot.
Right. No, for sure. You get what you got. Yeah, for sure. All right, man. So I'm going to jump off. We're actually going to skip a topic. I do want to talk about this real quick. I just want to make sure we get our show done here in time. I don't want to keep the viewers all locked in here, but Cooper Flagg, man. Not a lot of people know who Cooper Flagg is yet. He had an outstanding summer. Let's put it that way. This kid, I've been following him for a little while, for the last few years. Great baller out of Maine. He reclassified this last week. He was originally going to be eligible for the 2026 draft. He reclassified so he can be drafted a year early, and now he's being projected as the surefire, almost projected number 1 overall pick in 2025. Have you seen him yet? Have you took a look at him? Have you seen any of his footage?
I've been seeing a little bit of him. It really, when I know it's going to be a subject, I went and dove into it. Hey, you're good, bro. But, a lot of people made a jump from the high school to the NBA. Do I think he goes sit on the bench in the NBA right now for a few years and then maybe come off somebody's bench, or do he go to college, keep showing what he's doing, and make his stock rise? I think with the way the college is set up now, I think he should go to college.
For sure. I think he should go to college too. I don't think that he should go straight to the draft.
I said if you could play, if you was 14 years old and you could play with grown men and dog them out and you can compete, hey, by all means. But I just think with the up and coming talent right now, and a lot of them kids is playing the same way. I looking at his game, like it could be wrong. It's just my opinion. I think that he should probably go to college.
And I do too. I think he looks real good, but he's also doing this against the best 17 U teams in the country, right? Okay. We're not even talking about the best of the best in college, the best and the best in the NBA, obviously. Mm-hmm. But he's raw, right? And when you look at him at 6'11", the dude is a monster. He's got just outright nasty ball handling skills for his size, and he's very athletic. He can get up, and he can get up big. I think he's got all the pieces.
Mm-hmm. He got to go to college. He still got to
get molded.
A few more things that make him. I think that he's NBA already. LeBron coming out. He is no LeBron coming out of high school. He is coming out of high school. There's no KG coming out of high school. I think that he should go and develop a little bit more. He does a lot of good things, like you say, but he's doing that to 17-year-olds.
Yeah, he's doing it to 17-year-olds, in which he's 17, right? So, actually, I think he's 16 because he's class of 2025. So he's 16.
Right. And then
he's now he's 17 years, so he's playing up, but he's still much bigger than some of these kids. He's a lot bigger. Mm-hmm. He's got the talent.
He should be doing those kids like that as big as he is.
Oh, for sure.
And his skill set, if he wasn't doing it, it would be him holding his own self back.
He almost had a quadruple double at the Peach Jam, the biggest AAU tournament of the year. He had I think he did it against Bryce James, against LeBron James' son's team. I believe it was against Bryce's team. But it was like 49 points, 20 something rebounds, 14 blocks, and like 9 assists. He was like 1 off from a quadruple double, like just dominated the game all single-handedly by himself. So he's got the talent. And you know, he plays for Maine United. He's got some players, but he doesn't have like a super squad like some of these other AAU teams do. So I'd love to see what he does in college. I'm going to keep watching him. I just wanted to bring him up because, I mean, if you watch the kid,
that's changed.
He's very talented. He's young. He's talented. He's got the social media game on lockdown. And that's another reason why I think he should go to college, because the reality is he could pocket 500,000-600,000 going to college just using his social media platform before he even gets
the game
up to the next level.
For sure, for sure. The game has changed. It's different ways of skinning that cat.
You're almost dumb to skip out on college nowadays.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah. There's no reason to skip out on college now. You can get paid there too, and play. And play and get educated all at the same time. Like, I mean, it's a triple. And play, because if he goes to the NBA in 2025, bro, he's not. From what I've seen out of the game, he's a great. He's probably good enough to be in the NBA by next year, based on what we've seen. But he's not good enough to be on nobody's roster playing. Man, I've seen guys in the G League that's doing what he's doing. Yeah,
he would end up. That's what I was just gonna say. Is if he did go into the draft, even if he was a top pick, even if he was a lottery pick, I don't think he'd even be a lottery pick. Well, maybe. It depends on he could be a lottery pick, but even if he's a lottery pick, I don't see how he doesn't play 2 years in the G League before he makes the roster.
For real, that's what I'm saying. On the bench,
as of right now.
Yeah.
You know, in 2 years from now, you might be saying, "Oh, fuck this motherfucker." I mean, his leaping, his game is so much bigger than everybody else.
He might average 50 points a game. I mean, hey, who knows?
Right. But as of what we've seen so far, he's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Kid can play. Add him to your list. He's on my list of these youngsters I'm watching come up. Yeah, definitely add him onto the list. So for our final question of the night before we get out of here, is one question here is, who has the better shot at making it back to the finals? The Nuggets or the Lakers in the West, or the Heat or the Celtics? So in the West, who's got a better chance at going to the finals in 2024? The Nuggets or the Lakers? Remember, this is preseason. This is preseason discussion. So,
Nuggets,
it could change.
I go Nuggets, Celtics. I don't think that that he can do it again against the Celtics. I think that was a fluke. I honestly, by no means am I a Boston fan, but I just think that he got lucky. They caught him tired from the Philly series, Celtics.
Philly series, which Philly should have won right away, and they lost, and they let Boston come back in that series. Mm-hmm. They were up 3-0. They were up 2-0, then took a 3-1 lead and still lost.
Yeah. So Philly ran out of gas. And so the Celtics they got in.
Embiid was hurt,
but they were tired, and the Heat put it on them.
And the Heat played all the games.
Team. Okay, so the Heat is a physical team. So even though when they were tired, that physicality it wore them out even more. If the Heat wouldn't have been a physical team, Celtics would have won that. You know what I mean? So
that's the thing is, when you have a team that's full of jump shooters like Boston did, it's one of those things that hurts every team. And this is something I complained about with the Nuggets all the time from like 2018, 2019 into 2020. The Nuggets were just this outrageously terrible jump shooting team, but that's all they wanted to fucking do was be a jump shooting team. They wanted Jokic to pass the ball out to all these shooters that were wide open, but nobody could fucking make shots. And so that's the version of the Celtics last year. The Celtics were just a straight jump shooting team, and they got cold. And when you go cold and you're a jump shooting team, you're going to get your ass handed to you. And that's what happened.
Every time. It all in the NBA, that's happened over and over and over and over and over again. People don't understand that. I mean, it happens. I mean, we were just talking about the last guy, Harden. You know, he lived by the sword. He died. He damn sure died by that sword, buddy.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them do, man. And that's what I was telling my daughter. I was telling my daughter about it. She's a big Steph Curry fan. And I was telling her, I mean, I watched those last few games of the Lakers series, right? And when you're watching them, a lot of those shots that Steph took towards the end of those games to stay in that series always go in. Mm-hmm. And they just haven't been going in the big moments these last few years. He's hit just enough to get it going, but he hasn't been the Steph Curry from 2017, 2018, where he was 100% automatic. Yeah. So he's still, I mean, he shot 41 or 39% from the 3-point line last year or something like that, which was like top 10. I mean, he's not even considered the best shooter in the league statistically the last 3 years. But
but boy,
when they go, they go. But my point is that he's just not the same dude that he was 4 or 5 years ago. Just like LeBron. I mean, hell, LeBron 5-6 years ago was throwing up threes in playoff games, and he rained them all day long. That dude couldn't buy a three against the Nuggets. He couldn't buy one to save his fucking life at all.
Yeah.
You know, and so it's just things that the game changes.
Nuggets and Celtics. That's going to be interesting. That might even be the finals.
Yeah, and that's what I say. I think it's going to be the Nuggets and the Celtics next year in the finals. That was my pick. I'm calling that as a pick. I'm going to bet on it. I just don't feel like when I look back at the playoffs and I look at the Nuggets going 16-4 against AD, LeBron, you know, not Steph Curry, but AD, LeBron, Karl Anthony Towns, Gobert, you know, KD, Devin Booker. We went through some of the best players in history. And the gap the Nuggets had on the entire league when we finished the end of the year and won the NBA championship was pretty big. It wasn't even, I mean, you could just tell it was a big gap. There was a big gap that I don't think you can fill in one season. I think if anybody just really can have a shot with us offensively, it's going to be Phoenix, but they ain't got no defense, so they can't stop us. The Lakers are the only team that I feel like in the West has got the size, like we talked about. You got to have the big men to compete with the Nuggets.
Okay.
The Warriors can shoot you out the building, but I put the Lakers up there instead because I don't think the Chris Paul move was going to do anything plus for the Warriors.
Nope.
I think it gives them I think it gives them a steady point guard off the bench now. And outside of
Klay Thompson, them couldn't manage anyway.
Yeah, and
Draymond Green.
And then he's going to get hurt most likely when it counts anyway. So I just don't feel like the Warriors got any better. But I don't think they got worse. Because they usually draft well, and he'll get a player or two that might get minutes early in the year. You might see somebody blossom, kind of like the Nuggets had Christian Brown blossom for him this year. I think you can see something like that happen in Golden State that makes them a contender right away. But I also feel like the Lakers made enough moves this year to be in the conversation already. They signed everybody they needed to. They kept Reeves, which I feel like is like one of the biggest pieces of their offense moving forward. So they did the right things. They signed Rui, which was another big thing. They kept AD, obviously. They paid LeBron, or they paid AD, or they're going to pay AD.
Yep.
The Lakers are not far off from what they were last year, and trade deadline comes around. You know that they're always a team that will go make a splash if they're in it.
Pelinka pull the trigger. Okay, so we're forgetting something, man. You got the West, all right, but I think neither one of these actually on the list. Celtics, yeah, but actually, I think the Bucks. It's going to be Bucks and Nuggets. I don't think none of them can be the Bucks.
I think the Bucks can go, but this is the one question with the Bucks is like you said, if Giannis is even a bit injured like he was this year, they're done. Without Giannis, they're in trouble. And they're a one-man show. So, well, they're not a one-man show, but they're a one-man
Jokic, without Jamal Murray, without LeBron, or without AD, without Jimmy Butler, or without Tatum. All these teams.
I think the Nuggets could still be dangerous without Jokic and or without Murray for a few games in a series. I think that they can get it done just because they have the right extra pieces now, like KCP, straight up knockdown shooter. Like you got guys that can lift up that you didn't have the years previous. But I truly believe that if Giannis is even just a little bit hurt, it truly just ends their chances. Like they don't have any chance if Giannis is hurt. And he tends to be hurt a lot. And so it's like,
another big body flailing around. I mean, look at him. He tries to take
that's
off.
You're going to start seeing these guys bring up Jokic's game, bro, because Jokic is never hurt. And it's just because he doesn't throw himself around through the air and shit. He can barely jump over a dollar bill. Yeah. But then that's one question I always ask myself too is how long do you think Jokic can play at this level? Because
depends on
Giannis.
It depends on
Giannis. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, even though he's not flailing around, hey man, it depends on his body.
No, for sure. I just think that when you're throwing your body around, it cuts it in half. Like for Embiid, for instance, I'm thinking like he's got maybe 4 or 5 years left max. If he keeps playing the way he is.
At this level, yeah. Max. Because he's gonna roll over.
He'll be a short career. He'll be a short career great, like an all-time great for the amount of time that he played. Man, I truly think Jokic could do this for fucking 15 more years. He's in the 6th year. He could go 21 years playing this way and maybe even still be as effective as he is now in 10 years from now because it doesn't require him to speed the game up. It doesn't require him to do really anything other than just use the brain. It's one of them things that, like, it's almost crazy to even think about, man. I mean, if he plays the game at the level he has now for the next 5 or 6 years at the same level he has these last 3 years, I mean, you're going to be putting him up there with the top 2 or 3 players ever if he can keep those numbers up. And it's hard to believe that we're actually witnessing something like that because a lot of people didn't know about Jokic. He wasn't like LeBron when he came in and he was like, everybody knew he was going to be the shit. Like you just knew it. You watched him play, you knew it. And then you watched him play like 2 NBA games and you were like, this dude's the truth, right? Like you just knew it right from the get-go. This old fucking guy was drafted. Nobody even watched it. Nobody even knew he was drafted until he played in his 3rd year. You know what I mean? Nobody knew about him, and he turned into this guy. And it's one of those things.
Like
it's,
I say,
it's
more
crazy
than
to
one
see.
way to skin a cat. Some people would just get in right away. They got the following. Everybody know who they are. Some people get built up and have to play this way, right? So,
what do you think about Wemby? He's got a lot of pressure on him.
He's
the next LeBron.
Listen, no, man. He need to go to the mini barbecues down there in San Antonio as he can. He need to get him some.
Before need to eat a horse, bro. So he need to eat a horse.
Take him to he need to eat, buddy. That dude, man. Listen, Kyle Lowry probably throw him up in the 3rd row.
Oh man, he in trouble, man. But I think he's gonna be in for a bruised up, painful season. I think he will show flashes that he will be great.
If I was playing against him, man, I'm telling you, I'll be telling everybody just put it to him. I don't care if you foul out or not. Just be physical with him.
Yeah, that's what I always hear about KG, bro. He's always got some freaking crazy ass takes. But I was listening to KG. He's talking about how he's going to guard Jokic. He was like, oh, you going to run the court? We're going to run the court together. I'm going to be right up in your shit all the time. And I'm like, man, I've heard so many people say that, but they can't do it. It's like, you can say it, but you got saying and doing are 2 different things. But he always talks about, like, I'd be running the court. And that's the thing that with all of these teams is the high energy teams, the teams that run the court, the teams that buy into the culture, the teams that are dangerous. And that's why I got to kind of stick with all these teams. The Heat culture, right? Like when I look at the Heat, I keep them in this list because fuck it.
They got the same culture as when LeBron and
let's go back 6 years. They've been in the playoffs every year. Shit, most of those years you didn't even know who they had.
Hey, Eric Spoelstra, man, he's a good coach, brother. You can't.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is the culture that Miami has, they will be in the playoffs this year. No matter what happens in Miami, they're gonna be in the playoffs. Now they're gonna be any good is up to what they do. If they get Dame, depending on what they lose for it, that they could still be up here in this conversation. I think the Celtics are a surefire bet, though.
I'm telling you, man. I don't think
no. Listen, I'm talking about these two out of these two teams, the Heat and Celtics. The Celtics are a surefire bet.
I put the Celtics over the Heat. But then again, man, I'm saying I was agreeing with Adebayo. I think that nobody's respected Miami enough, even though,
I'm giving them respect.
They might not have that piece that you think is good, but they get it done, man. They get it done.
No, they do. They get it done. But that's because of their system and, like I said, their culture, the way they play that game. You don't get on the court for Miami unless you bring it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just a thing there. And you don't have to be the most talented, but you damn sure going to work the hardest. And that's what makes Miami, Miami. It's like Coach Carter, bro. We're going to outrun them. They're going to miss a free throw at the end, and we go win just because we still here. Like, that's Miami's motto, bro. And it has been for years since Spoelstra's been there. But when it comes down to the end, I put the Heat in there just because I wanted to give them respect. They were in the finals this year. I think the Celtics are a surefire bet. But in theory, if we're going to talk based on everything going on, they got to play the game. And in theory, Milwaukee should probably be there instead of the Heat with all of the uncertainty around that team right now. You know what Milwaukee's going to be. They're going to be back next year. They're going to be tough. You know what the Lakers are going to be. You know what the Nuggets are going to be.
But if Dame...
And honestly, you know what the Celtics are going to be. The Celtics could be the shock. The Celtics could be the team this year that wins 65 games.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And loses 12 games or some shit. Ridiculous record because of Porzingis, if he's healthy. Like, that team can be very dangerous if that works.
And they can win 45.
And then they could win 45 and miss the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? They truly could.
Now I'm hoping that they win 45 because I don't like Boston Celtics.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, I don't care who it is. I just at this point now that we've won an NBA title, you know what I mean? I don't really give a shit who we play now, man. I just know that we finally have one of the best teams in the NBA.
Yeah.
We have the best player in the NBA right now, and it's something that a lot of hometown teams don't get to say. And so I'm going to ride this high, bro, because it's been a long time trying to get on it. And it's nice to see that. And it's not like just it's nice to see the national media finally giving the Nuggets attention because they finally did it. You know what I mean? You can't, I agree with some of the people out there that, like, you got to do it. You got to go get it done. Like, you can talk about it all day long, but until you win that chip, it's all talk. And now they're not talking anymore. They went and got it done, and they did it very dominantly. Probably one of the better playoff runs we've seen in the last 10 years. And so it was nice to see, but now it's all over with, bro. It's next season, man. We're talking about 2024. You got to put that championship behind you, put that shit on the trophy box and forget about it and go get another one. Now it's time to think about 2024. So we're going to get out of here though, man.
It's going to be interesting.
We're going to get out of here. I think that this was a good first show. We got some good topics in. We got to talk about a lot. Please check us out. Subscribe. Play this back. This will be on Spotify and Apple Podcast. It'll be uploaded within the next few hours. So if you didn't get to check us out, you can always go jump on there, hear it, listen to it in the car. But I will have the audio file uploaded soon. Thank you, Zach, for being here, our co-host. We'll be back next week. We're going to be doing this show every Wednesday, every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. And next week, we're going to have a good show for you. We got a few different topics on the channel. I don't know which one we're going to go with, but it will be something good. It will be entertaining. And so we will see you next week. Zach, any last words for the followers?
No, thank y'all for tuning in, and let us know. Shoot us some comments. Let us know what kind of things you want to hear about, how we can improve, whatever, But
let us know.
I appreciate it. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Hey, it's all opinion based. I mean, what do we know? Could be totally right, could be totally wrong. It's all good though. It's all good.
It's all love. It's all love.
It is.
But yeah, please, in the comments, let us know what you think about the video. Throw in your takes. We'll get back to you in the comments. We'll definitely answer your questions if you have questions. Just let us know, man. Let us know how we did. And we'll be back next week. So we love y'all, and we'll talk soon. Peace.
Praise.